I'm the Zett, and today I show you a video about the Nintendo 3DS and how to downgrade your Nintendo 3DS from, for example, version 10.3 back to the older, more exploitable version 9.2. Please note, if you're using a Japanese Nintendo 3DS, you have to delete something before you downgrade, otherwise your device will be bricked. This is not the case for European or Northern American 3DS devices, and it apparently is only the case for Japanese devices, so you have been warned. Okay, what do we need to downgrade our Nintendo 3DS, and in theory also 2DS and new 3DS? We need a few things we have to download. The first thing is this Sys Updater app, which we can download over here. I'm gonna put most of the links in the video description. I'm not allowed to put one link in the video description, but I'm going to talk about this later. Okay, at first we're going to download the sysupdater.zip and save it on our computer. Then we also need the 3DS home menu hacks, releases version 2.1, because we need an entry point, and we're going to use the home menu hacks as entry point to start the homebrew launcher. And we also need yet another entry point, which is going to be the browser hacks. And depending on your device, if you have an old 3DS or a new 3DS, and depending on your system version, your firmware, if it's smaller than or equal to 10.1, 9.8, 10.1, 10.3, or the old 10.3, depending on what your device and its system version is, you have to download one of these browser hacks. In general, they should work all work the same, that you start your browser, visit one of these websites, and then you're able to use the homebrew launcher or homebrew menu. I'm not entirely sure. Whatever. This is nothing to download. It's just a website you have to visit on your 3DS. You do have to download the starter kit though, and you can get the starter kit from this website. Like I said, I'm going to put all the links in the video description. So the starter kit can be downloaded from this website, save file, and we're going to use the home menu hacks and the web browser, the browser hacks. Because at first we're going to use the browser hacks because you don't need a game for this, and then we use the home menu hacks to get a proper better launcher. You can compare the browser and home menu and all these other hacks with the user mode exploit game. Like if you're familiar with the PSP or PS Vita, you can compare these to an exploit game, and you can compare the important downgrader part with the kernel mode exploit. So pretty much what's also necessary on the PSP to downgrade. But let's get back to the topic of downgrading the 3DS. I think so far we have everything except for the CIA files. Linking to these CIA files is not entirely legal, but as you can see, I disabled the link and changed the website title. But if you're Googling some things that are written on this website, you can easily find it. This way I'm not directly linking to the website, and you still know where to get what you need. So it's a bit of a gray area. Okay, we have two categories. We have old 3DS, and at the bottom we have new 3DS. You have to use the files for your device. So if you have an old 3DS, you have to use some of these files, and if you have a new 3DS, you have to use some of these files. What these files are in general is pretty much, we have to look for the full files, full update package files, and the file we're going to download is the target file. Like if we want to downgrade to 9.2.0, we click on 9.2.0 and a mega link will open and we can download it. If you have a USA Nintendo 3DS and your firmware is whatever, 10 point whatever with a U at the end, you should most likely take 9.2.0 minus 20U, and so on for the Japanese and for the Korean and for the Taiwanese and the Chinese ones. It's recommended to only use these full packages and ignore everything else on the website, because we want to have a clean downgrade file. So yeah, I'm not directly linking to this website, but if you just Google some of these things that are written on this website, it's easy to find it via Google. So yeah, So in general, we should now have everything we need. And now we can just copy the stuff we need on our 3DS SD card. So we have the sys updater, the starter pack, the menu hacks, and our firmware file, which I already had downloaded on my PC, so I didn't download it again. Okay, whatever. At first we're gonna copy the sys updater into the 3DS folder. If you don't have a 3DS folder over here, just create it. So it would be E 3DS, and then you move this in here. I mean, I already have all these files on my SD card, so it's asking to overwrite these files, but that's okay. Next thing, we have the menu hacks, and as you can see, it already comes with the 3DS folder. We just put it onto the root of this SD card, which is also just E, at least in my example, and we copy all these files onto our SD card. I think it's recommended to have at least 2 or 4 gigabytes on our SD card. If it's more, it's better, but I think at least 2 gigabytes are necessary, if not 4. I'm not sure. We need some kind of buffer space. Okay, it successfully copied the files. Next I'm gonna copy the starter files, which I'm also just gonna drag and drop over here. So it's asking to overwrite files because I already did this, and it's gonna copy a few files. And as I said, it's just computer and then directly the SD card, no subfolders or something else. If you have to put something into a subfolder, I'm gonna tell you that you have to put it in a subfolder. If not, it's just the normal computer, your flash drive or SD card reader or whatever. You just have to connect your SD card to your computer, regardless if you use an USB device or flash card reader or whatever. Okay, and the last thing we have to do is this firmware file. It contains an updates folder and a lot of CIA files. So at first we're going to create an updates folder, which I already did. So usually you just have to right click, new folder and updates, and then we have to drag and drop these files from in here. You can just Control and A to select all these files, and then we drag and drop them over here. I mean, I already did this, so I don't really have to do it, but I'm gonna do this so you know I just did this and everything is working. And as you can see, it's nearly 200 MB in size. The other files were around 120 MB in size, so this is already occupying around 400 MB. So you should at least have 2 gigabytes on your SD card, I would say. I'm not sure how much mine has. I think it has at least 8 or something. But so yeah. This should be everything we need, as far as I know. We have our web browser hacks, our home menu hacks. We prepared our SD card. We got the browser hacks files and our tutorial. Okay, I think that's everything we need for our 3DS. Let's just double check. We have an updates folder with a fuck ton of CIA files. We have our 3DS folder that contains menu hacks, sys updater, and a few other things which were already in here. We have our boot.3dsx file. Okay, I think we got everything we need. Now I'm gonna switch over to the Nintendo 3DS, and I'm gonna show you what you have to do on your Nintendo 3DS to successfully downgrade your 3DS to a previous version. Okay, on our Nintendo 3DS we have to use the internet browser. By the way, it's recommended to open your settings application and verify that the version you thought your Nintendo 3DS is currently running is indeed the version it is running. So just verify that your version is exactly the one you intend to downgrade from. Okay, we're gonna open the internet browser. Now we have to enter a website, a URL, and I already saved this URL to my favorites. You can get the link you have to enter from this website. I already showed it before, and then you just click the one you need for your device. And then after clicking it, the necessary link you will need will be at the top. So it's very easy to find out which link you have to follow. And I can just click this one because I saved it to my bookmarks, and then we will get something like this. The bottom screen will be yellow and then change its color a few times, and the top screen will look a bit glitchy. And then the Homebrew launcher will start. At the bottom of our Homebrew launcher, we may or may not have the same things as I do, because I have a few more things over here. But the things we need, we are going to need the sys updater later. At first we're going to use the menu manager version 2.1 and start it. And then at the top we have a lot of text and this little arrow. And this arrow has to be on install. And after this is on install, we click A. And then it's going to install the menu hacks on our 3DS. In theory, we could already have used the browser hacks to start the sys updater, but in my tests the browser hacks already failed to properly use the sys updater, and since we do not want bricks on our 3DS, or properly brick our 3DS, we are just going to use the menu hacks because it's more reliable. Oh, and if you don't know how to exit this one, you can just press B and then press start. Then you're back inside of the Homebrew launcher. Now we keep the power button pressed until the 3DS shuts down. And the next thing we have to do... Oh wait, I forgot something. We have to boot our 3DS and select the theme, and then we have to shut down our 3DS. As you can see, it used to be black and now it's back to being white. We go to themes, change design. It's gonna load for a few seconds. And then we just abort. And if we now reboot our 3DS and keep L pressed while we start the 3DS, the menu hacks should start by itself. And now I kind of want to see how I do this with one hand. I keep L pressed, press the power button, and it should work. There we go. If this works, you've probably installed the menu hacks, and then you can use the Homebrew launcher, which will successfully downgrade your 3DS. You click on Sys Updater, and at the top, it's important that at the top you have these steps that they succeed, that there is a success. If I use the browser hacks, I had a problem that after like the first or the second step I had a failure message, so I switched to the menu hacks and this one worked, it just worked for me. Okay, as you can see, if we press A we update, if we press Y we downgrade and B is exit. Since we're downgrading from 10.3 to 9.2, we're gonna press the Y button and then it should start. It is possible that this program freezes before getting CIA files. If it freezes before getting CIA files, you can just keep the power button pressed and reboot your device. But after this getting CIA files message appeared, I would not touch the 3DS anymore. I would just wait until it either finishes, which is what we want, or if it automatically shut down due to a freeze or something. So I would not touch the 3DS anymore because you don't want to break something. And if we now watch, we will have multiple times that we get a few CIA messages followed by the green installed. You can simply skip this video like a minute or two. I'm not sure how long this is gonna take, and then you can see that this downgrade is hopefully being successful, and your 3DS is then running the older version which supports custom firmware installation and backup playback. Oh, by the way, this red text, I'm not sure if I already mentioned it, but if you have a new 3DS, the one with the additional movement thingy here, then it's recommended to not downgrade your device yet, because the downgrader program, while it can downgrade your new 3DS, it can also brick your new 3DS, because it's not 100% finished for the new 3DS, or it's kind of unstable. If you have a 2DS or the old 3DS or the old 3DS XL, like I do, then you can safely use this downgrader, and as long as you use the correct files, which were either showed in this video or are linked in the video description, except for this one website, then it should be a very, very, very high success rate to downgrade your Nintendo 3DS. Today I've downgraded my 3DS 2 times and re-upgraded it to 10.3 2 times to test if it's possible to upgrade back to 10.3 and if it's possible to re-downgrade. And yes, it was possible, and then I had to update once again to show you in this tutorial that you can downgrade your 3DS. And it says update installed, even though it was a downgrade, and is rebooting in 10 seconds. If everything is working fine, the 3DS should reboot into the home menu and we should have version 9.2 installed. Keep in mind, if it freezes after this 10-second reboot and with a black screen, you can try to remove the SD card and start it manually, because the menu hacks may or may not interfere with the booting process. A few users reported that it did interfere with the booting process, but for me it did not. Like, I didn't have to do shit right now. Okay, continue, whatever. And as you can see, the menus changed. It looks different than before. And if I now go into the system settings application, we will see that it successfully downgraded to version 9.20. So yeah, this was my tutorial regarding the downgrader for the Nintendo 3DS. This should also work on the 2DS and the 3DS XL, and in theory it should work on the new 3DS XL and new 3DS as well. But as at the moment I would not use the downgrader on the new 3DS devices yet, because it's still a bit glitchy and you don't really want to break your device. So far I would only use it on the old 3DS and the 2DS. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to show. And next I'm gonna install a custom firmware on my 3DS, and I'm gonna show you how to do this in another video. So yeah, I'm Zett and see you soon.